Activision devs do not play their own game. It's not your dad. Your dad doesn't support you.
You should know. You worked at a coffee shop, you stupid bitch.
My name is Casey, and absolutely not fucking Tanner, because my parents don't hate me that much.
Hey, did they have just 8 patches lined up, but they just didn't release them because they were on break? No, you moron kids.
Then we'll, of course, get into it. Change your fucking name and get scammed. He's feeling under the weather.
I probably won't say another word until Stay Humble, so have a good pod, Raz. I'll be here listening.
Got it. We are live. Boys and girls, welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast. Episode number 216. What a number, by the way. I usually don't think about it, but that is 216 entire full-ass episodes. It's a minimum of 300 hours of absolutely fire content. You know? It's kind of crazy. What are your thoughts on that, Tanner? Isn't that a lot of eps?
That's a standing person right there. Yeah, that's
a standing person for sure. Yeah,
it's an amount of eps. Yeah, for sure. It's a good amount.
Good amount of eps.
Good amount of eps. Yeah.
And we're gonna keep going unless the franchise tax board shuts us down. Welcome to the show.
We have to pay that actually.
We got to do a lot. Yeah,
that's due in like 2 weeks. We need to go online and pay that actually.
Cool, man.
It's California.
It's in our Borpa business doc, right?
Yeah, it's been in there. I was just gonna wait till the last day to really piss off the state. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll wait a day late.
We should go to the bank and request $800 in pennies, and then mail that to the franchise tax board. And say, here's your $800, you stupid pieces of shit. Have fun counting it. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I would like to do.
Or we could just go to the bank and say, can I just have $850? And they'll be like, why would you give us $850? Or why would we give you $850 for no reason? And we'll say, because we owe the California government $850 for no fucking reason. So we figured you could help us out, you know? Because there's just no reason to pay them. They don't do anything for us.
That is, of course, true. And money's fake, so maybe the bank would accept our request. And
so
if not, maybe we could just fucking rob them. Maybe we could say, well, it's funny you said no, because we've actually placed a bomb inside of this building, and you're going to rethink that answer, or I'm going to blow this shit to smithereens. This is being
edited out. That's being edited out for sure.
So why don't you give me those 850 United States dollars, Susie? Tell her.
Yeah, well, you know what? Artesian Builds was operating for like 4 years without paying their franchise tax board fee. Why don't we just not pay it? What are they going to do? Come kill us? I mean, really, what are they going to do? Are they going to shut down our podcast, have Twitch ban us, have Patreon take us? They can't do anything.
Yeah, well, they could do a couple things for sure. I think it would be not great. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a bad idea. Well, you'll get your money, California. Don't worry. I know the governor's listening to this. You'll get your money, you piece of shit.
Yeah. By the way, we're not going to rob a bank. Relax. We don't advocate for bank robbings on the public episodes, of course.
All the time in Red Dead Redemption.
In Red Dead Redemption 2,
quite a few banks.
If you want to hear about our true opinions on really anything, patreon.com/thedropshot, of course. So we may or may not be in favor of bank robbings, but for the purposes of this particular broadcast, we do not endorse robbing banks. That's not something people should do. And we were, of course, joking. Welcome to the show. Today we are not talking about robbing banks in Red Dead Redemption 2 or otherwise. We are talking about a very fun and exciting new standing person development in Call of Duty. Finally, Season 2 Reloaded. So I'll start by making this little announcement. We did our latest Patreon episode yesterday. That is now live, and it is available to all patrons. So it's Gold, Platinum, and Damascus. Any patron can listen to our latest Patreon episode. And if you're not a patron, patreon.com/thedropshot's the best way to support the show, and there are 7 bonus episodes a month. And the last episode we did was our Vanguard specific Season 2 Reloaded first impressions. Now, this is something we had never done before, and as we talked about on that episode, The reason we've done this is because Season 2 Reloaded actually brought so much more content that we didn't want to have to do a first impressions on everything today, because we'd either have to rush or do an 8-hour podcast, which we're not doing. So we broke it up into Vanguard for the Patreon, which is now live. It's bonus ep 79, I believe. And then we're going to today, right now, talk about Warzone, Season 2 Reloaded first impressions. Because again, Season 2 Reloaded brought more content than Season 1, Season 1 Reloaded, and Season 2 possibly combined. So, finally we got a good update, you know? There are some things to talk about. So, today we are not going to be covering our Vanguard Season 2 Reloaded first impressions in any detail. I think we'll say a couple words on it publicly, but we did an 1.5-hour bonus episode on Vanguard specifically, and if you want our full first impressions, once again, patreon.com/thedropshot. That episode is now live. But we will say a little bit, I suppose, about Vanguard. But first of all, Tanner, what were your thoughts on that last episode we recorded yesterday?
Yeah, I thought it was solid. We talked a lot about the new mode, which is Arms Race, which is the one that was kind of, I think, rumored to be Ground War. It's not at all Ground War, not even close to Ground War. But so we kind of explained what it is, talked about it a bit. It's one of those fun modes, but, you know, somewhat repetitive, I think. So we discussed that, discussed just kind of some general things about Vanguard, what we feel is kind of going on, maybe why they haven't done certain things, maybe what they're doing going forward. So I liked it. Played a shitload of Vanguard the last couple days, actually. A lot of Vanguard. Yeah, for sure. And I was actually having a good time. Because they increased like weapon leveling across the board finally, 20% boost there. So I was just flying through my weapon level. So I was having a blast because there's kind of a reason for me to play. I'm not ever going to play Vanguard just for fun. I'm going to do it if I have a reason to do it. And with this weapon XP increase, there is a reason to play it now, I think. So we talked about that too. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a really good episode. Our intention going into it actually was to do a kind of run-of-the-mill first impressions episode, but we went off on excuse me, quite a few tangents that I think were actually quite good and enjoyable. We talked about a lot of just like multiplayer in general and Call of Duty in general shit too. So it was our first impressions, but there was also a lot of other shit too. It was a really good episode. I really enjoyed doing that one. So that's now live if you wanted to listen to that. But all of that is to say, today we will not be talking about Vanguard much other than right now, briefly. Okay. Arms Race was new for Vanguard. That mode is fun, and the longer time to kill makes gunfights really good in that mode. But the mode itself was obviously designed by people who didn't actually play the mode, because there were some very clear oversights. Namely, when there's only one base left, if you don't control that base, you actually can't win, because there's no spawn delay for the defender, and the defender spawns in their own base. I don't think it's possible to lose if you're defending the last base. And that's obviously not intentional by them, because if that were to be the intention, what they should do is, once the Nebula Bomb destroys the second to last base, as soon as it's called in, the game is over. That's when the game is over. But that's not how the game mode works, which implies they just didn't think about, oh wait, it's not possible to take the last base if you're an attacker when there's no spawn delay and defenders spawn on their base. Simply isn't possible. So, overall impression, very briefly again. Vanguard Season 2 Reloaded, fun. Really liked Arms Race for the gunfights, but unfortunately the mode is kind of trivially easy to win if you have a brain. And the Armaguerra is a gun. It's fucking insane. It's super overpowered. It's the top 3 guns in that game right now. And part of the reason for that is because everyone's guaranteed 10 attachments on every gun.
Yeah.
That's basically
pretty damn good.
What we had said in that episode. What would you say overall Vanguard Season 2 Reloaded first impressions?
I mean, not nearly as much content as like Warzone, so but the game's not worse, so that's good.
Yeah. For sure.
That's
the game isn't worse, which is something.
It's kind of a pro now when it comes to Vanguard. They didn't make it any worse, so that's cool, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, that's that. And
we also talked about that new experimental playlist, which adjusts spawns and stuff. So we talked about that. Yes,
we did. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, go look at Sledgehammer's Twitter. They made a tweet. They've been tweeting a lot, which is annoying. But it was like yesterday or 2 days ago, they made a tweet about an experimental playlist they have now. You can read about the details of that. And it's basically Shipment, DOS House, Dome, the current playlist, except with different spawns. That was like the point of the experimental playlist. So we talked about that too. And more generally about what having an experimental playlist will mean in the future, which I think is a good omen. So that's another thing we talked about too. Yeah. But anyway, we're not going to get any more into Vanguard than that. If you want more thoughts, check out the app. Other than that, any other announcements, Tanner?
No. Well, we probably will do a gameplay stream next week. Some people were asking, didn't have time this week, had to do episodes. We probably will do a nice little gameplay stream like next Friday or something, so we'll let you guys know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we will.
But we got to crank out 3 eps early next week, so.
Yeah, we'll figure it out for sure, though. So, there you go. All right, let's get into this bitch. So, we are doing Season 2 Reloaded First Impressions of Warzone. And Warzone encompasses a lot of changes. So we've broken this into a couple broad categories. The Armaguerra and other shared features. So, for example, you can drop a gas mask now in Caldera and on Rebirth Island. So things like that are common between the two maps and modes. And the Armaguerra is also common between them, obviously. So then we're going to talk about Rebirth Island specifically, Caldera specifically, and then our and then our overall impressions. That is how we are formatting this episode. So let's start with the common features. First of all, deployable buy station we got. Big fucking fan of this. It operates, and let me also add, Tanner and I have played the fuck out of Call of Duty since Season 2 Reloaded came out. I mean, the absolute fuck out of it. Lots of Vanguard, lots of Warzone, lots of Rebirth Island. We've been just balls deep in Call of Duty.
My nuts have been in there, yeah.
Yeah, my nuts are moist. For better or for worse.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've beaten Elden Ring twice. I'm over it for now. So yeah, I'm just fully committed to COD right now. So we played a lot. So anyway, yeah, deployable buy station. Big fan of it, and it operates again exactly as I had expected it to, meaning that if you have one, it's not overpowered at all, but it's just convenient and it's a quality of life change. And having a deployable buy station without money doesn't matter. So it's not like it's a free fucking loadout that like just randomly drops on the ground like Dead Silence or something. So big fan of the deployable buy station. And also it is interesting because there's the icon that shows for everybody. This happened to us last night. We were playing the game. we were actually, that's not what we were doing. We were looking for plates. The entire match, which we'll get into. The entire match, dude. I've never played Warzone, got second place, and had that few plates ever. On Rebirth, on fucking multiplayer, where there are no plates, I still had fewer in that match last night. Holy shit, it was a joke, dude. I was full plated. I'm not kidding. Maybe 5% of the time of that match. Because you drop in with 2, find none, get 1 shot, get sent to the gulag, come back with 2, find 0, get broken, stim, barely survive, find a satchel, it's empty, awesome! And then still have no plates and then finally get second place because all 4 of you have no plates. Literally none. That was both fun and exciting, so we'll get into that. But, anyways, while we were looking for plates, we opened our tactical maps. And we were wondering, maybe they added icons for plates now, too, because they're as rare as deployable buy stations. But they didn't. But we did see a deployable buy station that we had not thrown. And that was cool because it was intel. Like, oh, okay, shit. We didn't put that down. Someone else did, obviously. So there are people there that we wouldn't have otherwise known about. So that's a nice little additional feature. And I think it's another good way to implement the deployable buy station. I like that there's an icon for it because there is still some risk to throwing that thing down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on the other hand, it's super convenient. One time we landed factory. There was no buy station at factory, but we still got 10K. We got a lot of money. And then we found a deployable buy station. We were like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go. There's no buy here. There normally is. Doesn't matter. We have a deployable. Threw that sucker, bought a loadout drop and plates, and then we played the game and probably won that game, in fact. So I'm a big fan of the deployable buy station. It works exceptionally well, and I think it's, working exactly as intended. The icon actually shows up. It's great. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think they're great. There was one point yesterday we landed factory, had a bunch of money, a lot of loot, but unfortunately there was no buy station there. And then we just so happened someone found a little smoke grenade, which was actually a buy station because they definitely made those easier now to determine as well. So like a regular smoke grenade, it's kind of like white smoke around it essentially, and then the deployable buy station is, what is it, red or something? It's a different color. Green. I don't know. It's easy to notice that, like, oh, this is a different color. What's this? So you look at it and then you see what it is. So there's no buy station factory. You're like, oh shit, there's a deployable buy right here. Throw that sucker down. Got our shit. Went to the balloon. Started fighting people.
Yep.
So yeah, it kind of puts you like in the fight where you sometimes, it may have. You had to, maybe run out of zone or the opposite direction where you want to go to get to a safe buy, and it's just more downtime. So it creates kind of a faster pace game in a sense, really.
I agree.
So I like it. Great change.
Yeah, I agree. I think it does contribute to a faster pace game a little bit. If they were like
not much, but a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. If they were super abundant, it would probably make the game a lot faster. But the fact that they're more rare means it makes it a little faster because, like if we see someone, like for example, in that game we had where we had the deployable and enough money, but no buy. If we had seen like 100 meters away, red smoke, someone else bought a Lodi and we didn't have a buy or Lodi ourselves, we probably wouldn't have pushed it.
Correct.
But in the same situation, if we had a deployable buy, we would have absolutely pushed it. We would have just bought our loadout and then went straight to them. That is a textbook example of speeding up the game. Yeah. So that's another good thing about them. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that. And they're not, they work. So that's cool.
They do work. Yeah.
Next, the gas mask thing. So I've never wanted to drop a gas mask yet, but I do like the choice. And I absolutely will at some point drop a gas mask because if it's late game, let's say it's like 2 teams left and it's like whatever, 2v2 or some shit. Doesn't really matter, but small circle, I have a gas mask, but it has like 1 tick left. I'm absolutely yeeting the shit out of it because I would much rather take a little tiny bit of extra damage than have to go through the animation of putting it on for 1 tick and then having to fucking throw it off in the middle of a gunfight. No, I'd rather just get rid of it now and then just take 1 extra tick of gas damage. That's totally fine with me. So I haven't wanted to drop a gas mask yet, but I'm very glad that this is finally a feature and it does appear to, again, work. It's possible. So that's cool too.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, you can even do little things like, say, one person is holding an angle. They know there's guys up there. I have a sniper. Raz doesn't. Raz has money. There's a buy station that's in the gas, but Raz has no gas mask. I can drop my gas mask and say, I'm going to keep covering this area with my sniper.
Yep, true.
You go back there, get in the zone. It's not far in there. Buy our teammates back. So there are instances where it could be handy, but yeah, ultimately, this is great that we have this, but there's not going to be too many times you're actually going to use it. I can see it using it more on Rebirth because I would just rather not have a gas mask on Rebirth, essentially. So yeah, there will be times that you use this. It's a nice change to have for sure.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, exactly. Anything that's like optional like this, most things that are optional like this are just good, because if you don't want to exercise your choice to use it, then just don't use it, and then it's as if you can't unequip a gas mask. It's fine. So yeah. Big fan of that. Next, satchels are all empty now, and there are fewer plates in the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I was under the misapprehension that this satchel change where you can loot plates out of satchels would create more plates, because if you have a brain that functions, which I clearly don't, you would realize if satchels just give you 8 plates, then they create plates. So if I have a satchel and I have 0 plates and I die, then the guy who picks it up all of a sudden has 8 plates that used to not exist before this change. That's literally creating 8 plates out of thin air. Now, that's not what happens. If I have a satchel and 0 plates and you kill me, you can come take my empty satchel if you want, but you're not getting 8 plates. This has resulted in fewer plates in Warzone, and it is incredibly, extremely noticeable and not great, and not a great experience. Once again, as I alluded to earlier, last night, we had a game where I swear to God, no one on our team was fully plated at the same time ever. There was never one moment where all 4 of us had full plates. It didn't happen ever. It was the most sad, depressing, anxiety-riddled game I've ever had the displeasure of playing. And we got second place, and I bet you we would have won that game if we all had full plates, because it was like 4v2. They had a better position than us because they were on the ridge, but it was still 4v2. So if we all had plates rather than fucking none of us having plates, I think the 4v2 plus plates would have overcome their positional advantage probably, but we didn't. Like, I was getting crossbowed behind a crate and I had no plates. So he sends a crossbow. Ow, take explosive damage. Fuck, I'm hurt. I bang a stim. And then I go to plate. Oh, wait, I don't have any. So then he sends another one. Ow, bang another stim. Out of stims now. And the gas is right behind me. I can't move. So then he sends another one. Ow. Ow. He has infinite crossbow bolts, by the way, which was also just fucking awesome, right? So eventually I'm one shot and I say, okay, he's going to send another bolt because he has an infinite amount. So I'm either going to go into gas and die, sit here and die, or I'm going to just fucking YOLO run out and try and shoot him. Run out, immediately get shot and killed. And
you're dog shit.
It just wouldn't have happened if I had plates. I probably would have died anyway, to be clear. But maybe actually, no. I could have gotten into an adjacent building if I had plates. I'm pretty sure. So that was like really deeply unfortunate. And I'm 100% positive the reason we had so few plates is because of the satchel change. Because we came upon so many empty satchels. It was insane, dude. Insane. What are your thoughts on the satchel change?
Yeah, that was one of the most annoying rounds we ever had. And then, of course, there's one buy station left. Where did that game end? Where were we? Were we by
We
Arsenal
were-
Docks?
Oh, I don't know what
Where
it's
were
called.
we?
I know exactly where it is, though. I'll pull up.
I
the
don't
map.
know what any of the POIs are
Yeah,
called on
I don't
Caldera, and
either.
I probably never will. I knew exactly where I was, but I don't know what the POI was.
Yeah, I'll find out right now.
Anyways, so it was like this dog shit buy station, and of course the team was camping it, of course, right? Because it was late game. Yeah, it was by Arsenal. Okay, barracks by Arsenal. That's what it was. So there's a buy station that's right outside one of the barracks. So of course there's a little ridge there. There's the other barracks where you can just sit in the windows, and there was 4 of them doing that, just watching them buy. So we couldn't even go and buy plates. I think us 4 had a combined total of probably 2 plates during that. I just kept begging for plates from anyone. Everyone's, I don't have plates. Grim, drop me a plate. I don't have any, man. Someone give me a fucking plate. No one had any. Horrible.
It was the worst.
I would actually, on that bolt topic, I would argue there's more combat bows on the map than armor plates now. Actually, I mean, I can find a combat bow in every fucking building I go in. I mean, remove the combat bows because I get excited thinking, oh, it's an airstrike or a UAV.
Yeah.
Combat bow, got it. And it just makes me furious. So, yeah, that was very frustrating. We could have won that too, but we had shit positioning.
I swear to God, we would have won that
because
if we
I
had
dinked
plates.
that one dude with the sniper. I got that flinch headshot on him, and then the other guy was on our roof and mowed us down because we had no plates and he was fully plated. So it was annoying. There are definitely less plates late and mid game. Early game, it's fine. Like Factory still has 400 armor plates at it, but once the circle pulls away from there, there's no plates to be had anywhere else on the map, and you're just fucked the entire game. And then you get rock hard because you see a satchel and you're like, oh, good, I'm gonna get some plates. You go up to this guy at 0 plates. No one's plated. So, time to kill. They added 50 health to make the time to kill slower, but no one has plates ever. So really, the time to kill is faster, I think. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, and I like. And you've written down here, you almost want this reverted. I'd prefer it be reverted than the current system, honestly. However, I think there's a better solution. Once upon a time in Warzone, when it first launched, if you saw a guy and he had 0 plates and you killed him, he would drop 0 plates. And then they made this change where even if you die with 0 plates on you, you're guaranteed to drop at least 1. And if you had more than that, you'll drop all of the plates you had. Let's just increase that number to like 3. Like every kill, every death, the person's guaranteed to drop 3 or 5 even. Something like that would be cool. Because I don't think you would have like a situation where everyone's just always fully plated. Because you could make the argument like, well, if there are too many plates, then there's no incentive to get kills or go to buy stations because you're always going to have full armor anyway, and that's going to make the game slower. I don't think if you guaranteed players drop 3 plates on death, for example, that would be the case because you'd have to fucking kill the guy to get the plates. And I think 3 is like probably a pretty good number. It's somewhere to start for sure. But after this change, something needs to happen because there aren't enough loot spots on Caldera where you can get plates mid-game and late game. Like Tanner just said, like there are these hot spots, like in Capital, there are 500 billion plates probably, but our team can only carry a maximum of, what is that? 1144 plates. We can't carry 80 billion like there are on the ground. So once it pulls away from Capital, there could be all the plates in the world there. It doesn't matter. I can't go get them again. It's in the gas now. So then it doesn't matter, and then I don't have any plates. So something needs to be done about this. And I think if you guaranteed players dropping 3 plates, in addition to the current satchel system, where you can loot from the satchel, I think that would be a good compromise.
Yeah, maybe. We also now just need to focus, I think, more on buying armor boxes late game. That's something I'd never, ever do in Warzone. But I think now you're going to have to actually think about doing that. Because, like, we could have, during one of those games, late game, we all had a bunch of money. And we bought, like, UAVs, self-res. But, like, we should have had one person buy an armor box probably and hold on to that thing.
That's a good point, too. That's a very good point, actually. You're right.
Yeah.
Just prioritize buying plates more. That, you know what? You might be right. You might be right about this. This might be fine if people are just going to need to adjust how they play, maybe, to where you just need to be buying plates or even plate boxes more. I think that's another part of it too. And it's just something we didn't expect to see because we haven't played that much, obviously, after this change. No one has. So
Yeah,
maybe if we had just been smarter, because we absolutely could have afforded 4 armor boxes more. So yeah, maybe that was the play. But either way, it was annoying. But yeah, there you go. Next, I don't know, what is this downstate res position thing? I don't know if it's a setting or not, because in game I got downed plenty. I had no plates, but I didn't ever really see anything on my screen indicating I can choose to be resed prone or not. I didn't really think about it though, but I don't know how it works or if it works. Just hasn't been like an issue for me yet, but is it actually in the game? Do we even know? And how do you do it?
I don't know. I only saw one thing appear on my screen at once, and it was after I got rezzed, and it said something about the prone or like crouch state, but it was after I was already up. It showed right in the middle of my screen, so I was like, huh? So I don't know, but whenever I was getting revived and I wanted to be prone, I would just smash my prone key a few times before the res completed, and I would be in the prone position when I got up. So I'm not sure. I didn't really think about it a whole lot though, but I think it was working. It's just maybe there's no prompt for it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, I don't have much to say on that. We'll probably come back to that if there is more to talk about there. But anyways, moving on. Let's see. What is this next point, Tanner?
Where are we at? So another thing, use the Vargo quite a bit more. Test it out a little bit. The Vargo is really nice. I think it's kind of taken the place of like XM4, essentially. It's a good, solid AR to use right now if you think like the Cold War AK has too much recoil, which if you think the Cold War AK has too much recoil, then you also think like the EM2 is going to have too much recoil, etc. So those are both more powerful guns, but the Vargo is a lot easier to control. So I think this may be like honestly the best AR for players that aren't good at controlling the recoil and don't like those other solid ARs. It's an absolute laser beam. You can rip people off headies pretty easily. The only one thing I don't like about it as much as like Cold War AK is, I've said it plenty of times, I use a 45 round mag on the Cold War AK. I don't think you need 60 because the fire rate just makes the ADS too slow. The Vargo's the opposite. I do think you kind of need the 60. It does reload pretty quick, but the fire rate is faster than the Cold War AK, so it makes me feel like I have to run the 60 round mag, and then the ADS speed is kind of annoyingly slow. So I don't know, but it is it's a solid AR. And I, recommend you guys try it out if you haven't already. It's just the typical Cold War AR build, GRU, Task Force barrel, axial, Spetsnaz grip, and 45 or 60 round mag. It's pretty simple to set up. And I think, most people can control it easily and do pretty well with it. I mean, there's no reason to ever use guns like the Kilo when the Vargo exists, but yet people still do it. So
yeah, I've been using the Vargo a lot because it's new and it's actually good in Warzone, and yeah, it is a very fucking easy to control. It's really good for really long range shit on Caldera, which does happen fairly often. I think the Cold War AK is still better, but it won't be. The Cold War AK will be nerfed. Mark our words. And when it does, the Vargo is going to be the best AR in the game until that gets nerfed, or if it isn't nerfed at the same time the Cold War AK is, which is entirely possible. But even pre-Cold War AK nerf, as it stands, the Vargo is better for taking people off head glitches. It's trivial to take people off head glitches with the Vargo. Whereas with the Cold War AK, you're just going to miss more shots on someone on a head glitch than with the Vargo.
Yeah, you are.
And that's
you're going to do a lot more headshot damage, but you're going to also miss more shots with a slower fire rate.
Exactly, yes. And that will equate to a slower time to kill for the Cold War AK because of those extra missed shots. The Vargo's really, really fucking good for taking people off of head glitches. Now, to be fair, in Caldera, people just aren't head glitching that much. It's just not super common. There aren't a lot of head glitch spots like there were in Verdansk. So this isn't as big of a benefit as it might sound. But people will head glitch, and when they do, you're going to be really happy you have a Vargo. I think they're both super viable options. Vargo is, I mean, it has too little recoil. It's very fucking easy to use. And it's super competitive TZK. It's fine. It's pretty good. But the biggest advantage is just no fucking recoil. And the 60 round mag is nice. Everything about that. Yeah. I mean, it just feels like a Cold War AR. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like a Farah with like a faster reload time. Like
I feel like they'll nerf it at some point, even though it doesn't kill really fast. I feel like they'll nerf it and add a little bit more recoil here soon, probably with season 3 or maybe before.
Yes, I agree. I think it will be nerfed. So,
or they won't touch it and they'll just continue to nerf the Vanguard ARs. That makes more sense, right?
That's what they would do. Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
What is this next item?
Another random point here is the Volkswagen may be worth trying out now. So they fixed, like, it had some weird visual recoil shit with it. When you fired it, it like went up to the right, even with iron sights, especially with like red dots. Very noticeable. They changed this. So if you notice there's like a green Volk ground loot, try that. You'll notice right away, oh shit, this is a lot easier to control now. It looks way better. So this has been a gun that I've been wanting to be good in Warzone for a while because it's so fun in Vanguard. It's like a rewarding feeling gun.
Yes.
Hard to explain. I don't know. Sounds cool. Looks kind of cool. I'm not sure. I just really like the gun. So I kind of said early on that I was hoping it'd be like a good sniper support gun. So I think I'm going to try that out again. See how that sucker works. I'm sure it's going to be terrible. I haven't really looked into what the time to kill is on it, honestly, but it definitely seems a lot easier to control now, which is going to make me want to try that sucker out with like a, like a Nidar or something on it as like a close to medium range sniper support gun with decent mobility.
I want to try that too. Cause like the Cooper
Have you used that ground loot one?
No, I haven't. Cause I know it got changed with season 2 Reloaded. It just, the patch note was like, it was like recoil adjusted or something. So I was like, okay, I don't know what to think of this. But if you've tried it and it feels a lot better, I do want to try it, especially as sniper support. I tried it as sniper support long time ago, and it was fucking terrible, just unusable. So then I went to the Cooper Carbine, of course. And my only issue with the Cooper Carbine is the reload speed is 45 minutes. How's the reload speed on the ground loot Volk? Do you remember?
Not great. It feels like one of those where it's still reloading even though the animation is done. Yeah, that's kind of what it seems like. Yeah. Like you have to wait till the very last second. You can't cancel the reload.
Okay. Yeah. But I do want to try that sniper support. That sounds fun. Sounds different. And I wonder if it would be better than a coupe.
It probably technically kills faster. The coupe really doesn't kill all that quick. It's just like solid mobility, high fire rate, good up close. It's like on almost like an SMG, you know?
Yeah. What is the meta sniper support gun right now?
I don't know. I don't know what people are mostly running. I wonder if it's
a fucking Milano, dude. I was playing Caldera
a lot of kids
Clash.
Using that, yeah.
I was playing Caldera Clash, which, by the way, I'll say this now. Caldera Clash is a... Hold on, let me write this down. Okay. Caldera Clash is a very underrated and good mode to play for practicing Warzone gunfights. Like, I underestimated how good it is for that because I avoid that mode like the fucking plague because I'll go play multiplayer or I'll go play Warzone. But I wanted to level both my Vargo, which is a Cold War gun, and my Armaguerra, which is a Vanguard gun at the same time. And the only option I have to do that is either Warzone, but they were level 1, so I wasn't doing that, or Caldera Clash, or Plunder, which wasn't in the game, or Caldera Clash. So I was playing that and to level these guns, and I was like, damn, these are actually like solid gunfights to practice Warzone. Like, I was in situations where it's like, I'm fighting 2 people, I have 20 rounds left, and I have like 1 plate on, and I get behind cover. And it's like, okay, fuck. Do I reload? Do I plate? Do I fucking stim and run? But that's like a really good situation to put yourself in over and over again to get good at Warzone gunfight situations, because that's like a classic Warzone gunfight situation. So don't sleep on Caldera Clash for practice. It's really good.
So I'm looking right now, by the way, on sim.gg at the Volk versus Coop. I know it's hard to say because I don't know exactly how I'd set up the Volk, but in terms of time to kill, it kills pretty much the same as the Coop up to like 23 meters. And then from like 23 meters to 40 meters, it kills 250 milliseconds faster than the Coop.
Wow.
It doesn't have much of a damage drop off. It goes from like, oh, is this chart bugged? I don't know. It's basically 684 milliseconds.
Did you put all the fire rate attachments on
Yeah.
the Coop? Okay.
Yeah.
The compressed rounds too?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it has far less of a... It actually doesn't even have... The Volk doesn't have a damage drop-off until like 40 meters, whereas the
That's
Coops,
fucking crazy.
with the rounds that people use, the 9mm rounds, its damage drop-off is like 23 meters. So it may be a good option. I'm going to try it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try. I'm going to try that after this pod. Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, okay, good to know. But anyways, what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, just the Caldera Clash thing. But yeah, I'll be trying the Volk out. Players can now cut their parachutes at any point before their feet touch the ground. True, based, awesome, love it. Great change, works exactly as intended. Big fan of it. It's just better. Day one shit should have been in the game, but it is a nice quality of life improvement, and it appears to be working. So
Thing works.
that is good. Any points on that, Tanner?
No, it's nice because sometimes you used to get stuck in kind of like this limbo where you couldn't
limbo.
cut your chute and you're just floating. I'm like, cool, I'm dead. Nice. So I'm glad you can pull it now. That's nice. Real nice to have.
Limbo is the
Again, yeah,
perfect word for it.
that is actually a day one thing when it comes to parachutes, but cool. At least we got it now because you needed a lot more on Caldera than you did on Verdansk.
That is also true, yeah. So that's nice. And then another thing, so like there's this meta Owen gun setup that's been going around. That's
Cope's
like
Owen?
really popular. I don't know. What is the optic on Cope's Owen gun?
The one everyone uses, it's got two optics on it. It's like the M193. I can find the name for it real quick. Basically, it has like a small zoom and then there's a red dot, and people use that one and they just set it to the red dot so that it sits above the magazine so the mag doesn't block your screen.
Yes. That's
what it is.
That's the only reason I mentioned this, because I hadn't actually tried the Owen gun or built the setup yet.
It's the M38/Slate 2.5 custom. That is the one to run.
Yes, that is. So all I'm saying is I was watching Raiden this morning and he was using that and I was like, why are you using that optic? And he was like, oh, so the magazine isn't blocking my whole screen. And I was like, oh, that's fucking giant brain, dude. Holy shit. And he's like,
that's the setup for the Owen gun that people run.
Super smart. So just pointing that out, do that. On the Owen gun, that might be worth doing on like the fucking Bren and the Sten too.
I don't think that would work on the Bren. People do it on other guns. I can't think of what it is. There's another gun people do it on.
But like if the Bren magazine goes from filling up the entire right side of my screen to just like 70% of it, I still think that's better. Depends on the trade-offs, I guess, but just something to think about. It's a really big brain idea. So
yeah,
shout out to Raiden,
I can't think of the other gun.
Friend of the pod, for that one, for coming up with that idea.
Everyone's been running that for literally weeks, months actually. That's the setup for the Owen.
So yeah, there you go. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, that's it for our common ground first impression. So now we're going to move on to some specifics, and we'll start with Rebirth Island. Tanner, what is this first absolute little point?
Okay, I absolutely love it. I'm glad to see they didn't make any drastic changes to ruin the identity of Rebirth, the identity of the map that everyone has come to love. Come on, you shit fucking, there we go. There's like a lot of cute little Easter egg things that are easy enough to do that makes it fun. There's a bunch of map changes. You can get like little key cards that fall out of shower heads, which then you can take and get specialist bonus or loadout drop in the key card vault, which is over by the new POI stronghold. There are random legendary blueprints scattered around the map that are Modern Warfare guns as well as Cold War guns. So those are kind of cute. It's like HDRs, Mac 10s, all sorts of stuff. Kind of cute. I like that. people are definitely landing on those now and going for those because some of them are just gone every single time by the time I get there to check. And there's another kind of cute thing where like there's one of the ships, not the one at Nova, the one over at Control, I believe. You can go up to it and like press the horn. I don't know how you call that when it comes to a ship, but there's like a horn and you press it and it goes brrr, brrr, like that. It goes brrr, just like that.
Edit that out.
And if you do that like a certain amount of times, a loadout drop can randomly be called in.
Oh.
Or like a supply drop, or different things can happen from that. So that's like another cute little Easter egg that are easy enough to do. You don't have to do some fucking find out some code, go here, get the code, go here, enter it. It's like easy little Easter egg things that make it fun and kind of change up how you play Rebirth in general. So I'm absolutely loving it. I think the general thoughts is that they did a good job. They didn't ruin the map. Still feels like Rebirth. Still a lot of fun.
Yeah. Another thing I like about the changes to Rebirth. So let me start by saying this. The map orientation did not change. I don't know why people think they flipped the map. I don't know why this was ever... it's like the Berenstein Bears. This just like Mandela delusion effect that you're all under, where you thought the map was flipped and turned upside down and inverted or something. It's the same. It looks the same. It never felt like it wasn't the same. North is still the same spot. South is still the same spot. And I am very confused how anyone thought differently, first of all. Second of all, the visibility. A lot of people like it less. It's got like a weird aura now, like yellowy green aura kind of around that a lot of people are bitching about. And what I think about this is that aesthetically it looks worse than it used to because it's not just like a clear blue sky anymore. But in terms of functionality, my visibility is no worse than it used to be. I can see people so far on Rebirth Island just as easily as I used to be able to before Season 2 Reloaded. So, is it uglier? Yes. But I can still see people fine. So I don't care if it's uglier. Doesn't really matter to me. I'd prefer it wasn't uglier, obviously, but the visibility is like fine. And the map orientation is fine. The buildings they added are also fine. As we had predicted, they were not going to fundamentally change the map, and they didn't. Still feels very much like Rebirth Island. Many of the mainstays and landmarks of the map are still mainstays and landmarks of the map. And dogshit areas are still dogshit areas. So the, eastern side of the map is still trash to be at because you're still just directly in line of sight of anyone at prison or more inland than you. However, this has been ameliorated a little bit because there are like more buildings and more cover on the eastern side. But there is also still a roof that you just shouldn't really be at or you're going to get fucking beamed. But it's not as bad. So that's good too. And one thing they've done, which I really like, is these legendary blueprints that are guaranteed spawns in certain areas of the map. This is very cool because it incentivizes going to places you would otherwise never fucking go to. For example, in what was formerly security area and is now called Stronghold, which is on the southern tip of the island, we would just never go there before because it was terrible. It's a terrible spot to be at. You have to rotate up to get inland, and you will have to get inland unless the circle pulls directly to you, which is rare. So we would just never go security area. But now, first of all, there's more cover at Stronghold, that area, so it's less risky to drop there. The rotate's still almost just as bad, probably, but at least dropping and being there for a while isn't as risky. But also, that's where the vault is, so if you get like a key card, you can get $40,000 and 8 specialist tokens. That's nice, so there's a reason to go there. And True. Also, there's like the guaranteed HDR blueprint drop. So like Tanner and I actually dropped there once for that sniper specifically, and we otherwise would not go there. So the fact that these legendary blueprints are guaranteed spawns every game at static locations, I think is really cool. And if they continue to utilize that mechanic and just move the blueprints to the areas where no one fucking goes, you can spread people out more in an equitable way to where it's like, yeah, this place sucks, but I can also get a guaranteed really good MAC 10. So I'm going to drop there anyway. It's like a good risk reward kind of equation, and it's a smart way to spread people out on the map that I think was really smart. So I'm a big fan of that for sure too.
Yeah, I agree. So I agree with that. Yeah. Another thing I've liked in terms of like the map changes, the prison like courtyard, little gym area is not a death trap anymore from top prison. So before it was like if you went to that buy there, you would just get sniped from top prison. Pretty much there's no cover. The buy still doesn't have much cover, but you can buy there quickly. There's a bunch of like tents and stuff down there in wooden crates. So you can buy a loadout, throw it behind one of those, and still have enough cover from top prison to not just get sniped by them. So I like that a lot. There's also scaffolding on the side of prison. I believe it's on the Nova 6 side as well now. Not positive. I didn't really go over there too much, but for sure on the side of like the prison courtyard, it is there. You can get up the scaffolding there. So that adds another way to top prison. I saw a bunch of people complaining about this. I'm like, aren't you like the same people that complain how people sit top prison? Like, why would you not like this? It's another way to flank people up there. I'm not sure why people wouldn't like that, because top prison always has been too strong. There's basically, there's like two places to cover. Sure, there are more than two ways up there, but there are only two decent ways that people actually go up, and it can be difficult to fight. And it's both the staircase on opposite sides. So I like these changes a lot. Only made the map better, I think.
Yeah, agreed. For sure. Yeah. And yeah, there needed to be more ways to top prison, because there were 4. There was a ladder, the 2 staircases. The ladder was like super risky because you're climbing a fucking ladder on Rebirth Island. You can just get shot while you're climbing it. And when you get up on the ladder, you're not in like a great spot. You're not in a terrible spot, but anyway, whatever. The 2 staircases, which are good. And then the fucking gondola, which no one ever used.
And there's 2 zip lines, which are also a death trap because you get up there and you're stuck in a 2-second animation of you getting off it.
The 2 zip lines.
Those are probably the worst ways up there.
Which are the worst.
You're safer going on like the gondola.
Yeah, you're safer dying and then just deploying on roof with a pistol than going up those zip lines. Yeah. So, anyways, it needed more ways up there. I agree with you. Next point is the balloons. So
little ballies, yeah.
Tanner and I talked about the balloons, and we were like, "Oh, this is really cool. You're gonna be able to go anywhere you fucking want, and that's like something, and it's gonna be weird." They're shit. They're dog shit. The balloons fucking suck. They're not good. They're barely worth using, honestly. It's not like a Caldera balloon at all. So in Caldera, let's say you shoot 50 meters vertically and then you start traveling. If it's 50 meters, then on Caldera, it's 15. Like, you barely go up at all, and then you go forward like a little bit, and then that's it. It's like it would almost be faster to just tack sprint there and you'd be there. I mean, they fucking are trash. Now, I think that's probably fine. And the balloons do have some utility, but they are not nearly as useful as I was hoping for. And they are certainly not as useful as they are on Caldera. Now, maybe that's good. And I do agree with Activision that the balloons probably shouldn't be Caldera balloons. That's kind of just something I didn't think about when we were talking about them. I just assumed they were going to be Caldera balloons. But that would have been kind of ridiculous, actually, because you would have been able to travel literally the entire map with a balloon.
You could have traveled to Caldera from Rebirth Island, yeah.
Correct.
It flings you so high. Yeah.
You could have crossed the pond for sure. So I would prefer the balloons be improved on Rebirth, but not to the level of a Caldera balloon. I think that would be better, because like there is a balloon by Bio that you can use, but you can't even reach top prison from that balloon. You wouldn't even come close.
No, you can't.
You wouldn't even come close. I think it would be nice if from there, for example, the balloon was sufficient to like barely get you to top prison. I think that would be a good strength balloon for Rebirth Island. What did you think about the balloon?
Yeah, I like them regardless. They did not fling us as far as I thought it would. Yeah, not Caldera balloons at all. I would be okay with them increasing it a small amount, but I don't want it much more because I don't want someone to be able to literally balloon to the other side of the map. So like when you think of it that way, it's probably, I mean, they get you further on that small of a map than the balloons on Caldera get you on that large of a map. Like when you compare them, I feel like you're ultimately still going a lot. You're covering more distance for the size of the map based on the Rebirth balloons. So I think it's kind of pretty close to where it should be. Not many people were using them though, and I think I'd said that before the season went live. I was like, if they're not there off the rip, I can't see a bunch of people using them for some reason. I don't know. Call of Duty players are just dumb. They're not going to think to go up to it and press $1,500. They're just going to run by it. But like we did it because we landed bio. We got the key card. We're like, okay, let's go to the vault. Like, ooh, let's use this sucker. We're thinking, oh, we can balloon all the way and land on the vault. Wrong. It basically gets you to that chopper spawn that's down below control. It didn't even get us close to that even, I don't think. It was pretty bad. But I think balance for the size of the map. Because yeah, if I don't want kids using a balloon there and landing on the grandma's house side of prison roof,
true,
you know?
True.
So I think it's about what it should be. Because that could actually make balloons kind of bust and overpower. And you can still probably get some fun clips with it. Fly off one of those suckers, hit a snipe out of the air or something. So I like them, but if anything, I would be okay with them being slightly buffed, yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, yeah, so it's 50. So the balloon spawn defunct. It's $1,500 to repair the balloon. The repair is quite literally instant, by the way. So you press the button and
you
it's
can use
ready.
it instantly, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not going to be like a big time sink. It's just if you have the money, it'll instantly repair. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. They could be too strong for sure, but I don't think. I think a buff would be good. But I will also add that if they do never get buffed, I would still prefer that the balloons as they were in Rebirth than not. They're still overall ultimately a very good addition to the map. Even if they're not as strong as I'd like them to be, it's better than them not being there at all. So yeah, I'm with you. I liked the balloons, but I just wish they were a little more effective. I said a little bit about the lighting, but what are your thoughts on the lighting, Tanner?
Lighting is ultimately worse. I don't understand it. Not worse by a whole lot, but it's also not better, and there was no reason to change it. The lighting was perfect. We talked about this a long time ago. It's like, holy shit, the lighting in Rebirth is so good. Why is it so fucking bad in Verdansk? I mean, miserable. The sun's in your eye, which also reminds me, we've been playing Modern Warfare multiplayer to get the Armaguerra unlocked.
Oh my god.
I cannot believe the sun in your eyes on every single map. I forgot it was that bad. You can't even play Shipment without looking one direction if there's not a crate there without being blinded by the sun. It's crazy that we played that shit and people continue to play that and think that's like not a huge issue. It's insane, man.
I know.
That pissed me off so much. I think that's why like Shoot House is such a good map because there's no sun blinding you too. I don't know, man. It's crazy. So the Rebirth lighting was fucking fantastic. And for some reason, probably some lore shit, they decided to change it, which I don't like at all. There's like clouds off one direction, which is also why people think the map flipped because there's clouds on one side now. Like, oh shit, map's upside down. They changed it. The attack map's upside down. No, this used to be over here. That used to, no, they didn't change anything.
Get to work on a rainy day.
So many people thought this, man.
It's
a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't believe.
Yeah, it was a lot of people. So I don't know why they needed to touch it. Again, probably something to do with the lore. There's probably a storm coming in that's going to affect the map. Maybe there's a storm heading to Caldera that's going to change some things. Maybe it's going to rain like it does every weekend in Tarkov or something. I don't know. It's probably some lore garbage, but I hate it. There was no reason to change the lighting. It was so good. The lighting indoors, if anything, is unchanged or slightly worse, in my opinion. It didn't get better, which is where we could have seen an increase. Is like bottom prison, there's some dark corners, places like that. But so I don't know. I don't like that they did this. There was no reason to change the lighting. It was literally perfect, and I loved it. And now it's just no better and slightly worse. So that pisses me off.
Yeah. I was saying, like, my visibility feels about the same. Ever since they changed the lighting initially on Rebirth, I was able to see people very clearly often, and that's really good. And now with this change, I can still see people really clearly, and it's fine, but it's uglier. So it's definitely no better.
It's uglier.
I don't think the visibility is any worse, at least not yet, but it's certainly not better visibility, and it's way uglier aesthetically. So it's just dumb, and yeah, it's just a change that didn't need to be made, but it's almost certainly some dumb lore thing. Yeah, it has to be. Probably like Nova gas in the air, and it's like,
yeah. I mean, the
warning.
island's just spewing Nova gas as it is out of all the big chimneys. So I don't know what's going. There's something happening. Something's brewing, man.
Something is afoot. Yeah, for sure. So there do be things afoot for sure.
And then last thing I had on Rebirth, I don't know why this is, but I feel like the lobbies were getting torched really quickly. A lot of it when I was noticing that was in duos, which obviously dies out quicker than like trios or quads, but some of the matches just felt off. And like there weren't demons in the lobbies either. It was just like, I don't know, man. The lobbies were just dying so quick. Cope and I played duos at one point. I swear to God, by the time the first circle, the gas had closed on the first circle, there was like 12 people left. It was so weird. There was no cheater. Cope and I had like 2 kills or something. And so it's like we were literally just walking around the map, didn't hear anything, didn't see anything. Nothing was coming up on radar. No one was buying loadout. Like nothing was happening. It felt like we were in a private match. Like we literally went to top prison. I was standing there for minutes. Didn't hear anything. Saw no one. Didn't get shot at. There was just nothing going on. It was so odd. And that was when it went from like 12 people to 8 people. And the circle was still huge. And it took so long for that game to finish because like the kids were just sitting in buildings. It was very, very weird. I've never seen lobbies getting torched that fast before. So that could just be how our luck's been. I'm not sure. The Rebirth lobbies have not been sweaty since this update. Whereas before that, they were always demonic, or they had been for a while. So I don't know if it's something to do with that. I'm not sure, but it's felt a little weird.
Yeah. I didn't play enough Rebirth duos beforehand to see if this is just any different than it used to be. I suspect it's probably not, but that happened with you and I too. Remember, we had a duos game. We eventually won it after this update, where like it was super hot. We were like constantly in gunfights, and then all of a sudden, I remember you said, "Oh shit, there's only 10 people left."
Yeah, they're just like, getting torched. It's weird.
Just all of a sudden, like there was fucking no one left. Yeah, and then we shit on them. But yeah, that's something for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so one other thing we'll talk about is Rebirth Resurgence Solos, which is a fun and exciting new game mode with Season 2 Reloaded. So I have not played this. Tanner has not played this, but
I forgot. I wanted to play this before this pod, actually, and I totally forgot because we were having fun in the other modes.
Yeah. I've watched friends play it. I've seen streamers who are not friends play it. And I've seen people on Twitter talking about it, and it's like universally loved. Really good mode. And basically how it works, for those of you who have not played it and are confused, is you get a resurgence timer as if you had like one other teammate. So basically you drop in and Rebirth is enabled. So if you die, then you respawn because it's enabled. And then as soon as you respawn, a timer starts. Let's say it's 30 seconds for first circle. So if you die in the next 30 seconds, you won't respawn again. But if you stay alive for 30 more seconds, then when you do die, or if you die again, you'll respawn again. And then eventually this gets disabled at the same time it would in Rebirth Duos. And everyone just like loves this mode and thinks it's really cool and fun. I think it's a great idea. I'm glad they made it. This is something I won't play because I have friends, unlike many of you. But for those of you, again, who are lonely and people just don't like you and you can never quite understand why, this is a cool mode for you, and I'm glad they've implemented it.
Yeah, I agree. I've heard, honestly, nothing but good things about this mode, which is shocking. It did not sound like it'd be that great, but I've heard a lot of good things, so I am excited to try it out. We'll have to try it out before the next pod we do, so.
Yeah, for sure. And those are pretty much our thoughts on Rebirth Island specifically. I mean, the map changes were ultimately, I think, good. And they're fresh. If anything, it's something novel. It does feel fairly different, but it's also still feels, of course, like Rebirth Island. The legendary blueprint thing is good. The balloons are good. And I'm a big fan of it. So been having a lot of fun there, and I think it's just better than it used to be for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think they kind of hit the perfect middle ground that we had talked about. They didn't change too much to piss off the Rebirth mains, but they changed enough to make it interesting and mix things up and get people who don't maybe play a ton of Rebirth back onto the island to give it a shot, like Razinon. Like I've had fun in Warzone since this update across the board, but I've actually been having more fun in Rebirth than on Caldera, actually. So I'm definitely gonna mix that in and play that more going forward, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And last thing on Rebirth before we move on, because we're going to talk about this more when we get to Caldera, but when we did get this update, part of it was the Vanguard and BR integration, and with that, regular BR players now have 50 extra health that they did not bring to Rebirth Island. And they said something to the effect of they're waiting on feedback or analytics or something, but they did explicitly say they haven't done it yet and they're thinking about doing it. So, and we kind of touched on this, if either of the two modes needed 50 more health, it's fucking Rebirth Island because it's a smaller map. So that should be the first mode to get more health, not the second. So if I had my druthers, then this would have been a foregone conclusion that this would have come to Rebirth at least at the same time, if not first again. So the not having 50 health is pretty sad, and I hope to see it, and I think we will get the 50 extra health in Rebirth modes as well, hopefully fairly soon, hopefully by or before season 3. And I think that would make Rebirth a lot more fun and a lot better. And is it noticeable after having played regular BR with the extra 50 health and then going to Rebirth Island? Yes. I think it is pretty noticeable. And we're going to talk more about that when we get to Caldera, but I am saddened at that lack of the 50 extra health. You disagree?
I'll get more into it when we start talking about the Caldera stuff,
okay.
But yeah, we need at least 50 more health on Rebirth, yeah. I mean, at least.
Yeah, so we will
Let's
get
actually up Rebirth to 75 or 100, really.
That's of course true. All right, so now on to Caldera. So again, they've merged. There is no Vanguard Royale. There is instead just BR. And when they did that integration, they said they're merging the two and they're taking the best of both worlds. So default core health is now at 150, up from 100 in regular BR. Dead Silence is still legendary ground loot. I haven't seen Dead Silence yet on Warzone, so that's good. I don't think I've died to it either. I've died to not having plates.
I don't think
have not
I've
seen
seen
Dead
it.
Silence, which is nice. Also changing in BR. Big game bounties are back. Top secret contracts are back. Don't get them. And supply drops are back. And in addition, the Vanguard Royale public events have been integrated. Cash drops, heavy weapon drops, resurgence, restock, in addition to prison break, which already existed. So the biggest change, of course, is the extra 50 health. One thing I will say, by the way, which was a question Tanner and I had regarding the vehicles. It appears there are no 1940s vehicles in BR. They're all the new vehicles in the current BR. So part of the integration was not the dog shit old cars. All the cars function, which is good. So that's another good thing about the integration. So now we're going to get into the specifics with all that laid out. There are so many more bounties now. It's just incredible. I
love it.
I was very excited when we covered this patch note on our last episode. And for good reason. It is true. It's a real patch note. There are fucking plenty of bounties in BR now. And it's fantastic. And it feels like the good old days where you could, if you want to get a bounty, there's one and it's pretty close.
It's within 150 meters. Yeah, always.
We never wanted to get a bounty and there wasn't one around. So that's incredible and fantastic. In addition to the addition of big game bounties, which there is an abundance of. Once that threshold is met, there are a lot of big game bounties. They're not as abundant as regular bounties are in the early game, but that's probably good. There are still enough big game bounties. I think there's an appropriate amount of big game bounties once they are enabled, which is like third or fourth circle. And that's been nice as well. So I'm just very glad to see all of the bounties now, and I hope it remains the case. And I don't see a reason why they shouldn't have this many bounties, because if you get a bounty, you do get some intel in the form of the yellow circle or whatever. So that's like pretty good. But if you want to complete the contract, you got to go kill another team. So it's not like it's unbalanced or anything, you know? So, and with how many bounties there are, if there's a bounty placed on you, you can pick one up yourself, and it's probably going to be the people hunting you. So now that advantage that the hunters had is neutralized, because now you both have the same advantage of the yellow circle. Because there are so many bounties to where that's pretty much always going to be a possibility for you if you are being hunted and you otherwise avoid bounties. So I'm very, very pleased with this. What are your thoughts, Taylor?
Yeah, it like gives you kind of like a purpose, because otherwise you kind of get stuck like just running around and like, where should we go now? I love just grabbing a bounty because it's just brainless ape. You know, you grab one, you see the yellow on the map, you go towards it, you try to kill them. And it's just a lot more fun chasing bounties, in my opinion. So I love this. They actually did add a shitload more of them. We had a train going last night of contracts where our contract bonus was insane. It's like, holy shit, is this fucking Rebirth doing supply runs over and over?
I know.
It was nuts. It felt like day one of Caldera, where everyone had 30,000 United States dollars always when you couldn't even buy a loadout. It felt like that. Like at one point there was probably 40 people left, maybe 30, 40 people left. Every single one of us, after we had just completed the one of the bounties, had like $12,000 plus. It was nuts. We all got self-res, we got UAVs, we got airstrikes.
We didn't get an
and we
armor
still
box.
had money left over. That I don't think that was the same game as the armor box one.
It was.
Was it?
I'm 100% sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we fucked our own asses there.
We went to I think docks, killed like a bunch of teams, and then we were like scaling peak. We hit that by the balloon kind of, and then I bought 3 UAVs. Didn't buy you guys a self-res. I bought myself one though, and then eventually we just didn't have plates. Yeah, it was that game, sadly.
Yeah, so that's cool. So we should have bought a plate box. Now we know. But yeah. Love bounties. Every time we were looking for one, there was one there. And it's also nice that they made the change where you see contracts even if you already have one active. That does help a lot, actually, because then that kind of determines if you want to kind of stay in an area or start pushing towards another one. Yeah, I like it. Even during that game when we were doing bounties, we were like, there wasn't a bounty around at one point, and I was like, oh, there's a recon right here. Hell, let's just do it. Let's get even more money. I picked up the recon. It literally was 10 meters away.
Yeah, literally.
It was like 2 barracks next to each other. I picked it up. It spawned right in the next one. Didn't have to go anywhere. So we, waited till that circle closed. So we got more intel, did the recon, easy money, gives you even more of a contract bonus for the next time you pick up a bounty. So we just had those things rolling. Yeah.
I will add on that point. I'm glad you brought that up. I hope that was a fluke for that recon.
It was.
if recons always are that fucking close, or even if that's 10% likely, that makes recons way too fucking easy. Because yeah, we were in this area completely alone. We got a recon, and then it was still in the same area. So it's just like a free fucking next circle. It was really, really too easy. Yeah. So hopefully that's not true.
When we grabbed that, I grabbed a recon later. Maybe it was the next game.
That game we won, the recon game.
Okay, maybe it was the next game or later that one. I don't know, but I grabbed a recon thinking the same thing, and it was like 200 meters away.
Okay,
I was like, yeah, fuck. So I think we just got super lucky there.
Okay. Oh yeah, we grabbed it in factory, and then you guys all died, and I scurried away and did it.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh cool, let's just grab this. The last one landed by us, and I was like, shit, it wasn't even close.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, good. But yeah, I do also like what you said about having bounties gives you direction. I think that is the case for a lot of players. And I do think, honestly, that's why a lot of these streamers hate Caldera so much, or have hated it, is because for a very long time, there were just not bounties. And if you're like a kill whore, like all these Twitch streamers are, and it isn't Verdansk where there are like hot spots around buildings and shit all the time, if you don't have bounties or hotspots and you want to kill people, where do you go? So then you find this awkward, very drawn out mid game where you don't see people, you don't know where they are because there are no real hotspots on Caldera, and there's no bounties for you to give you any direction as to where you should go to kill more people. So hopefully this helps them maybe enjoy the game a little more. Because a bounty does give you a sense of direction, a real sense of direction. And I think it's for a lot of players, not just streamers. Because I don't think I don't know how most people play. I'd actually be very curious to see what most people
I don't watch Warzone streamers anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. But I'm not even talking about streamers. I'm talking about some guy. What does some guy do when he drops into Warzone? What's his plan? Does he want to get in gunfights? Does he want to hide until he wins? I don't really know, but I would imagine there are a lot of just some guys, standing persons just around.
Yeah.
Who play Warzone and they just kind of want to like shoot at shit. And if there's no bounties, and they definitely don't know where people are, so they just have this awkward, long drawn out middle game where there's nothing going on. They're like, I don't know, I guess we go this way. And now that there are a bunch of bounties, it gives other people a sense of direction too. I really like that point. I think you're spot on with that. And I think it can make Caldera play a lot better. So, yeah, either way, very happy that there are more bounties.
Yes, absolutely love it.
Next. The merge went well. I think they merged the right aspects of Vanguard Royale and Battle Royale, and they really did make a best of both worlds mode. I don't think there's anything they could have done better, in fact. They omitted bringing planes. They omitted bringing Vanguard only restriction. They did bring the 50 extra health. They did omit bringing the dogshit Vanguard vehicles. They brought big game bounties. I don't know what else they could have brought or chosen not to bring to make it a better best of both worlds scenario. And therefore, I think they really did manage to merge the best of both modes, actually. In addition to that, they did merge all of the cheesy, dumb fucking events like the resurgence timer and the fucking supply choppers and all that dog shit that is from Vanguard Royale. They did bring that to Caldera, unfortunately. Maybe that's the only thing they brought that they shouldn't have. However, those events really don't happen very often. I think we saw a supply dropper event and a prison break once after many hours of playing and since this game has come out, or since this patch has come out. So if you're going to merge the events, if they're this rare, I think I'm fine with it. And I think overall they did a really good job with this merge. Principally, again, the extra health. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I never liked Vanguard Royale. I know it's kind of preference. A lot of people liked it more. I keep seeing people say now how they don't like it because they're sick of dying to 3-year-old guns. blah blah. But it's because you're trying to use a Vanguard gun, which I understand. You want to use something new, and they're terrible. That's them not balancing the weapons as they should. So, I think all in all, this is better. I did feel like there were a shitload of fire sales, which I'm not.
We did see some fire sales, huh?
There was
a lot.
Is there a fire sale
right.
every game now? There's way too many fire sales. Which I don't know. I guess maybe it's not that bad. I just feel like I heard last night, like, enemy advanced UAV like 10 times because there were so many fire sales. I don't know.
You're right. There are too many fire sales. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I would rather none of that be in, frankly. Maybe
Same.
fire sale with a very low spawn rate, but I don't want any of the other garbage. But for the most part, we don't have the shitty Vanguard vehicles. We don't have the planes, stuff like that. So all in all, I like this a lot. And I'm not stupid, so I use Cold War assault rifles, and I do just fine.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just done using Vanguard guns unless they're good. You're right about the fire sales. That is one part of the merge that's bad. I think that's the real negative, because there were a lot of fire sales. And the problem with a lot of fire sales, because you could argue like, oh, but fire sales make people move to common spots, which is buy stations, to buy things. Sure. But if you control a buy station and there's no one else around you and then a fire sale happens, you now all have self-res and infinite streaks. And that shit is, and advanced UAVs, which is annoying. I don't like that at all. The streak spam is still ridiculous. And fire sales absolutely contribute to that, which is stupid. So, yeah, that's a bad part. But overall, I still think it's a net benefit for sure.
Agreed.
So, next here, increased health. The increased health, the more I play, the more noticeable it is. We had a game, N Capital, okay? And I wish I was streaming or I had a clip to show you guys this. I'm in a building, I'm holding a door, and outside of the door is the street. So some guy starts running across the street, like toward me, but behind the building. So I have to step out of the room to like keep shooting him. I start shooting him. I get with a Vargo. He's cracked. He keeps running. He stims. The reason I know he stims is because there's an icon if you're shooting someone who has a stim. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I like that icon, by the way.
That's a good addition. I keep shooting him. I continue shooting him. And I still continue shooting him. And I land, I don't know how many bullets, but I probably hit him with 20 bullets. And he doesn't die. And this would not have happened if he had 50 less health. So that is like one instance where the extra health absolutely saved this guy's fucking life. Now, I told Cope he's one shot and Cope dealt with it. So the guy died anyway. But I would have been able to get the kill before he even got behind the building without the 50 extra health. So the 50 extra health is super fucking noticeable in instances like that. And let me also add, run stim shot, because with 50 extra health, a stim is doing so much more work for you than it used to, and it was already probably the best tactical before. Now it is unquestionably the best tactical, because a stim shot now heals you for more health because you have more health. And the way stims work in not iron trials anyway, is you'll heal through being shot. Taking damage does not interrupt the healing your stim is doing. So you can just tank bullets. That's what was happening to this guy I was shooting, is the stim was just like tanking bullets. So he would take like 31 damage, but then in that same interval, he would heal for 10 or 15. So the stim does so much more legwork for you now with the 50 extra health than it used to, that I implore all of you to stop what you're doing and use stims instead of whatever other trash you're using, especially now between the extra health and the speed boost you get from stims. It is unquestionably, unequivocally the best tactical. even more so now with the 50 extra health. But
Yeah.
again, you do notice the extra health a lot, and it is, I think, again, a good thing. It does contribute to a higher skill gap. Not all the time, and if you get shot first, you're still definitely at a disadvantage, but there is more opportunity for outplays for sure. What are your thoughts, Tanner?
Yeah, so in regards to stims, you are just putting yourself at a disadvantage if you don't use stims at this point. You know, I ran snapshots pretty much up until a few weeks ago, just because they were fun to use as something different. I like the intel. You can't do that anymore. You are essentially forced to run stims, which kind of sucks. I almost feel like they're going to end up nerfing them at some point once they kind of. I do think they should now. I don't know if I don't think the movement speed needs to be nerfed, but I think maybe slower health regen, or even I put a cap on the regen so it doesn't do the full 150 health. I'm not sure. Something needs to change there though, because you're just fucking yourself if you don't use them pretty much. I
think slower regen would be good.
Yeah, probably just slower regen.
Because then if you're getting shot while you stim, you'll still die at almost the same speed.
Yeah.
But it heals for just as much. I don't know.
So overall, though, regarding the increased health, something seems off. So like when I'm shooting at people, it does feel like there's a slower time to kill. I can tell I need more bullets to kill them. You know, I have to have better tracking because they're slide canceling everywhere. But when I'm the one getting shot, I feel zero difference. I get fucking melted immediately and have no time to react ever. I do not notice a difference when I'm getting shot, I swear. I mean, obviously, I'm sure I will once I get more hours into this change, because I didn't play much Vanguard Royale, so for some people, this may just feel the same. But it doesn't feel any different when I'm the one getting shot, only when I'm doing the shooting. Also, there's zero difference in the time to kill within 10 to 15 meters. That's just about certain on that. Yeah. The guns kill just as fast. Everyone's tracking is just as perfect. It makes no difference when you're that close and everyone's getting their max damage on their guns. So that really pisses me off. I'm just getting melted still. Zero time to react. The only time I really notice a difference is in further engagements when the enemy player's guns aren't hitting their, max damage anymore. They're hitting like a steep damage drop off. That's why I notice a difference that I can get away. I can stim, slide cancel out of there. But up close in buildings, it feels like there's no difference in the time to kill with the extra 50 health. And on top of that, I've seen numerous Twitter clips from top Warzone pros, streamers posting these weird clips since this change, and it's like they'll get like 5 bullets into someone's chest. The dude turns around. I saw one, I think it was it Super Evan? Super Evan posted a gulag one. It was somebody else. And this guy turns left. Every single shot on the kill cam hit the guy in his legs, and he somehow killed him faster than the guy that started shooting first, was fully plated, and was only hitting chest shots. It made zero sense. The guy turned with the Armaguera, all leg shots, I swear, like below the kneecap, killed him faster, and he was like, what? Like, I swear, and I would not put it past Call of Duty, that some of these engagements are just wrong, and it's totaling the health incorrectly on certain player models at times, and you have less health than another person. I swear to God, I think that's the case at times, because there's no other way that should be happening, or skill-based damage does exist, and it's very obvious now. I don't know, something weird's going on. I mean, this has been in the game for 2 days, and I've seen like 4 Twitter clips like this that are just, they can't be explained. You can watch it so many times, there's no explaining. It does not make sense. You can't even defend it. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So call me L, because this game has skill-based damage or skill-based hit reg, something. I don't know.
It's
skill-based hitboxes. He's getting headshot damage when he's shooting below the knees because his KD is 0.4. WAG. Yes, Jake, that's it. Wagnificent. How do you say his name?
If someone links it in Twitch chat, I'll show it for the broadcast. I want to see this clip. I want to show.
I can find it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Jake, there's no explaining that clip, right? It left me just so confused, man.
Just stunned. I suspect that is a bug with damage values or like an operator.
Okay, I'm going to post it.
Or something.
I'll just post it in chat. There we go.
Chat, yeah. I suspect that's like probably some kind of bug. So we're going to take a look at this clip here, boys. And if you are listening
Yeah,
on
that
audio,
was one of
stay
them.
mad. We do have video versions of the podcast available at youtube.com/the Dropshot podcast. But let's take a look
and
at
that's
this.
one of the numerous I've seen.
But we'll try and narrate this clip for you guys. So here we go. This is Wagnificent at Wagnificent with 2 T's. Change it on Twitter. Here's the clip. So he's using a gun.
MP40.
I have 3 pixels because Twitter's codec is dog shit. It's a MP40. He gets torched. He's not happy about it. We're watching the kill cam. Yeah,
Like that time to kill did not exist.
didn't
There
make
was no
sense.
time to kill there.
Yeah, he was shooting
Like,
him like
look
all in the kneecap.
And he was fully plated. You can see
Yep.
Wag was fully plated when he goes in. There's no explaining that. So I swear to God, I think something is messed up, and like not everyone is always getting the health. Because I got fried a couple times, and I thought people were cheating. So I'm like, this guy has to be cheating. There's no way I died that fast. And I watched the kill cam, and I'm like, dude, I did not have an extra 50 health there. I fucking refuse to believe that. So I don't know. There's probably something wrong with it. I've noticed that pretty quickly, and it's really pissing me off.
I would say it's more likely like some kind of bug than skill-based hit or damage or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's some sort of bug.
Yeah. But
I was
anyways.
kidding. I don't actually think skill-based damage is
Good.
the thing.
Yeah, good. Fuck hell. Yeah, this is another thing too, is that if you're super up close, having extra health is going to advantage aim assist over not aim assist even more. So if you're on keyboard and mouse, you're actually going to struggle more in close range engagements than you used to, because you're going to need to have really good tracking for longer to get a kill and land more bullets. And if you have aim assist, you're going to get a lot of help in these really up close engagements. So it's going to be a lot harder for you. Once again, I implore all of you, hip fire PPSH. Now more than ever, it is your only goddamn chance of winning a gunfight inside of a room in Warzone. I mean, now more than ever, man. You got to get on the hip fire train, boys. You got to do it. But yes,
I like Cope's Owen.
How was that working for you yesterday?
Cohen. I like Cohen. The Cohen gun. Solid. I was using the Owen gun quite a bit yesterday. I liked it a lot. Don't love the fire rate, kind of trash, but overall the gun feels really good. Feels like a better, like, it can reach out further than a lot of other SMGs can, and you have a ton of bullets with a slow fire rate, so you don't have to reload.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Solid gun.
Yeah, got it. Regardless, yeah, I could see, and you really won't notice 50 extra health up close when people are using SMGs at their max damage range. 50 extra health is going to be like 1 or 2 more bullets with an SMG, which is going to have a really high fire rate anyway. Time to kill is really not going to feel that much different. But when you do notice it, is like far away, like Tanner was saying. Absolutely. Like if you're like at something 2nd or 3rd damage range and they're not landing many shots anyway, then it's a way longer time to kill. Because it's like, even if it's only 2 or 3 more bullets to kill, they're only landing 1 out of every 5 bullets anyway. So then they have to shoot 15 more bullets before you die. That's a lot of time. So then you are going to notice it more. And then at mid-range, I think is the sweet spot where you can actually see like skill gap and having extra health matter more. So yeah, I am with you on all that. Another thing where I noticed the extra health the fucking most is the gulag. Because in regular Caldera, you have 150 health plus your 3 plates for a total of, what is it, 350 health? 300 health?
In what? In regular core BR?
Yeah. How much is a plate?
300.
300, yes.
Total 300 now.
So you went from 250 to 300 health on Caldera in general. That is an increase of
a number.
A percentage. Holy shit. Yeah. 50 of 300. That's 1/6, right? Yeah. So that's like 16% or so, 13% more health. Okay. In the gulag, there's no plates. So 50 extra health is 33% more health. That's a lot more of a jump in total health in the gulag versus not in the gulag when you're plated. That's where you notice it a fucking lot. And I have died.
And the guns are terrible.
And the guns are terrible. I have died multiple times in this gulag because I'm used to the old TTK and I stop shooting. Like, oh, they're dead now. And I just stop shooting and I'm shit on. Smile. So that's not a bad thing, but just continue shooting after you're positive they're dead in the gulag, and then you'll win more. Because it takes a very serious amount of getting used to. It has fucked me up a lot in the gulag, where I'm like, dude, he's not dead. Still shoot. So just get used to it in the gulag, because it's going to feel extremely super fucking different. Do you agree with this, Tanner?
I hate it. I don't know if I've won a gulag yet. Yeah. And then I get like the top break. It is physically impossible for me on K-BAM to kill someone with the amount of ammo they give you in a top break when they have 150 health. I can't win that ever. It is an impossible gun to use on K-BAM. Speaking of that, I don't know why they haven't updated the gulag guns. They're still like not different. We've had the same gulag guns for months now, it seems. 0 changes. I hate it. It's pissing me off. But yeah, like I kept getting a BAR setup, and it's very low fire rate. So I miss one shot. The other kid doesn't miss that one shot, and I'm just dead so fucking fast because I go left of him, right of him, miss 2 shots. I haven't hit him once, and then I'm already dead at that point. So it's very annoying. The health difference is extremely noticeable there. That definitely is going to take some getting used to. I've been getting absolutely torched in the gulag.
Yeah.
But it's like, so many of these gun setups are just terrible. Low fire rate BAR, top break, just dog shit, trash guns. I would rather have stuns back constantly than have a top break, actually. I would rather be stunned and finishing moved than have to use a top break. I don't know. I just hate it.
I wonder how many stomach shots you would need to land with a top break to kill someone with 150 health.
Let's see what damage it does.
3 or 4? I wonder if it was different between 100 and
Pistols,
150.
Vanguard.
Yeah, let's look into this sucker.
Top break. Let's check out the top break. If they have
no plates.
No plates, just it'll technically be 100. Let me see. Be 150. There we go. Well, a stomach shot with a top break does 49.
Okay, so it used to be.
So you'd need 4.
It used to be 3 shots, and now you need 4. On a
and that's not easy to do.
Revolver with a slow fire rate, it's impossible to do.
With a bolt delay, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Take out the goddamn fucking top break, man. Just take it out. Yeah, that's crazy. Landing 4 bullets with a top break, I can't do. I literally am not capable of doing it. I'm just never going to do it. It's not possible. So I guess I'm just going to have to melee every time I get a top break now. So.
Yeah, true.
Smile. Anyway, yeah. Overall, I'm a fan of the increased health. It's going to take some getting used to. Let's see here. Yeah. What is this?
Money seems a little bit better in Caldera now. Part of that is for sure because we've been doing a lot more bounties and stuff, but just the overall money you find on the ground seems easier. Seems like I think we still need a very slight increase, but it seems you can land most places with a buy station and have enough to buy, where for weeks it was like you could land at a POI and not find enough to buy there. So you can land other places in Factory now. Factory still has all the money, of course. But that feels good having some more stacks on the ground. Increase it slightly, though. It's not what it was in like Vanguard Royale, though, but I do think they upped it when they implemented Vanguard Royale and regular BR together. It seems a little better.
The money does seem a little better. Yeah, you're right. Part of that is definitely because we're gods and we do bounties, so our contract bonuses are just fucking through the roof. But I think even in general, maybe the money's been slightly buffed. I'm actually not sure, because it could be all just how many fucking bounties we do. I don't really know.
Yeah, we had them things cranking out, man.
Yeah, we did. So there is less money at Factory now, by the way. The NPCs are gone from Factory.
True.
And there is way less money at Factory, but there's still a lot, and it's still definitely worth going there. Still probably one of the best spots for money, but it's not as insane as it used to be. And I feel like you
get a guaranteed loadout still.
Exactly,
that's all that really matters.
Exactly. So, yes, exactly. That's all that matters. So Still definitely worth going to factory, but it seems like all the extra money that used to be at factory that isn't there anymore, they took and spread it out across the rest of the map, which is fine. There still, I could use some more money, but it's okay now for sure. Yeah. So we never talked about the Armaguerra, by the way. In Warzone, mine's not max level yet, but there are ground loot Armaguerras. They are fine. I don't think they're overpowered in Warzone. I haven't died to like a bunch of loadout Armaguerras. It's not like the OTS 9 once was, for example. It's a good SMG. I quite like the ground loot ones because they have a really high fire rate, but they have some recoil, so you got to be able to control them. There's a skill gap there, but it is still a good SMG. So I'm a fan of that. And I just don't know what a fully kitted Armaguerra feels like or performs like. But if it was really fucking overpowered, I would know that because I would have died to a billion of them up until now, which I haven't. So it seems like a fully kitted Armaguerra in Warzone is fine. I don't even know if it's the best SMG in Warzone, honestly. Which isn't bad.
No, it's not the best SMG, I don't think.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing, but what that also means is that the SMG meta just has not really changed at all, which means the entire weapon meta hasn't changed, which is kind of my next point. It's still the same meta that we've had since Caldera literally came out, which is Vanguard long-range guns are dog shit, all of them, except the Bren, which is still good. That's the only Vanguard gun worth using, but it's not as good as a Cold War AK or a Vargo or a Farah or any Cold War AR. Smile. So you'll see people using a Cold War AR or a Bren and any Vanguard SMG because they all feel basically the same. And that is still the meta we have since day one of Caldera, which I find sad. I find it sad. What are your thoughts on the Armaguerra and the weapon balance meta overall?
The weapon balance, a lot of people using different ARs, which is good to see. I'm seeing a ton of different guns. I couldn't even, if you had to ask me what the best AR and SMG in Warzone are right now, like those two, I really couldn't tell you.
I mean, the best is the Cold War AK, but the most common, I agree. We're seeing a bunch.
I'd still think I see more autos as ARs than anything else, honestly. So yeah, I don't know, but speaking on the actual Arma, I can't tell you. I haven't really used it in Warzone. I got it maxed out in Vanguard. Haven't really tested it because I was trying out the Owen quite a bit yesterday. So I will try the Arma today. But yeah, the ground loot one's pretty good. It has dog shit iron sights though, which makes it kind of bad ground loot. But that clip we just watched that we can't explain where he hit all leg shots, that was with the Armaguerra, by the way. So I don't know.
Yep, it's probably some kind of bug with that gun.
That could have been, I wonder if those were the mags that does a lot of damage. Those, the one that J-God said is similar to like AS Val. That could explain it, an insane time to kill with those mags, but it's only like 34 bullets or something. So I wonder if that's what the ground loot has. I'm not positive what that ground loot is, but that may be part of why that guy got absolutely torched so quickly. I don't know. But yeah, seems like it's kind of seems like it's usable, but I still think like the top SMGs are, you know, like the Well gun still, the Owen gun, the Hipfire PPSH, the MP40. I think those are probably all still better than the Armaguerra. But it is definitely usable. You can throw it in that mix for sure.
Okay. What is the website for Warzone loadouts? Is it warzoneloadout.games? Is that the website people use? I've never actually looked for that, whatever the website is. Someone let me know.
Warzoneloadout.games. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I am with you there because you are right. The variety of guns I've been seeing in BR has been incredibly eclectic. So many different guns. But as someone with a brain, well, I like that people are using a bunch of different guns, but it's just weird to me because there's never been a time where one gun has been so clearly much better than all the other ones, and people aren't all using it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why the only guns I see are not Cold War AKs or Vargos. It's literally all you should be using if you want to do well, actually. But we don't see them that often, which is weird because when the Bruin was the best gun, that's all anyone used. Or the Bren, that's all anyone used. Or any other gun, take your pick, the M4. That's all anyone ever used. So I don't know why everyone's just lost their marbles now. But it is nice to see a variety of weapons, even though there is no discernible reason for why they're using a variety of weapons. And my main point is, I don't think it's going to last. I think people are very soon going to realize that there are best guns and they're going to start using only those. And then I'm going to be annoyed that I'm not seeing any weapon variety.
Yeah.
But also for me, it's like, I'm not going to use an automaton. It's too dog shit. I just refuse to use it. And everything else is so much worse than a Cold War AK or a Vargo that I'm not going to use them. So even if I'm dying to or killing people with all different colors of the rainbow guns, I don't fucking care because I'm bored. I'm still using the same gun I've used for 2 years and I'm tired of it. So that's what's pissing me off about the weapon balance is I'm bored. Not even what other people are fucking destroying me with. So anyways, I don't know. That's unfortunate. And again, like I've said before the patch even went live, we need a goddamn nerf to the Vanguard AR or buff to the Vanguard ARs. It's that simple. I'm annoyed that we haven't gotten it yet, but I'm optimistic. But the Armaguerra, anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's a Vanguard SMG. Cool.
Yeah.
So other than that, Tanner, overall thoughts on Season 2 Reloaded? Standing
solid
person.
so far. Really, really wanting to play, itching to play right now. Had a blast last couple days. It's been, the Rebirth changes are all fun and different. The Caldera changes, the health and everything, noticeable in some instances. So ultimately, though, it is better. Even if I'm not always noticing it, I'm sure it's still going to be better, and of course. So yeah, I'm loving everything about it. Really fun. A lot of weapons to choose from. Bounties are back. Yeah, I'm having a blast with this season Reloaded.
Yeah, same. Overall, a very, very, very fucking good patch. We got so many quality of life changes that we should have gotten on day one, but they're actually in the game and they work now. The parachute thing is so big. Bounties being back is really nice. Being able to drop a gas mask is cute. Being able to loot plates from satchels is good too. That our problem is probably just with not being used to buying plates. I think Tanner was right about that after some thought. So a lot of really good quality of life changes. And this is in addition to the balloons that exist, which has been a huge improvement. That's still in the game and will remain so. So these quality of life changes are starting to compound on each other to give a really fun BR experience that I haven't had in Warzone for a while. So yeah, I'm with Tanner. I've been having a fucking blast. Really excited. My, again, biggest complaint is just the new guns aren't good. And if that were to change, then I think Warzone would be in a really fucking good place. But regardless, very good patch. Maybe the best Reloaded patch we've ever gotten for Warzone. Certainly in the top 5. And I'm very pleased with it. So been a lot of fun. An overall thumbs up is what is my thought.
2 thumbs up. The Dropshot LLC gives 2 thumbs up to the Warzone Season 2 Reloaded update.
Yes, we do. Maybe even 4 for both of the CEOs. It's possible.
4 thumbs up.
4 thumbs up, guys. Good job. Buff Vanguard
Standing
ARs,
man.
though. Standing man. Standing person. All right! Other than that, boys and girls, that is it. On Monday, we will post a schedule like we normally do. I know we didn't post one this week, but we will again next week. Probably almost certainly going to sprinkle in some of them gameplay stream things. We're excited to play, and we'll stream some of that for you guys. And last and most importantly, reminder, and we're going to be paying taxes soon. We had to file an extension, but we're going to get absolutely raped by the Fed. And we need your help. Now more than ever, we need your help. And the best way to help us is, of course, donating lump sums of cash. But besides that, it is, of course, patreon.com/thedropshot. That's where you get the most benefit for supporting the program. We do 7 bonus episodes a month. We just had one go live this morning on our first impressions of Vanguard Season 2 Reloaded, which was a really fun episode. We went a little off the rails, talked about a lot of things related to just COD in general, multiplayer in general. It was a really good episode. But there are a lot of really good bonus episodes on the Patreon, and it is once again the best way to support the program. Patreon.com/thedropshot if you want some extra fire podcasting content. That is the best way to support the program. Besides, again, lump sum donations, which we are now accepting. Feel free to do so in the next 30 seconds. Other than that, boys and girls, that is it. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for listening. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stumble.